Welcome to the intersection of technology, cybersecurity, and society. Welcome to ITSP Magazine. You're listening to a new Focal Point podcast with Angela Marafino and Chantel Sims. In order to continue evolving as a forward-thinking industry that accepts others as they are, we need to hear more stories from diverse individuals regarding their struggles and successes throughout their careers in technology. Knowledge is power, now more than ever.
Hi, my name is Angela Marafino.
And my name is Chantel Sims.
And this is Focal Point. And today we have Gabrielle Botbol joining us. Hi, Gabby. How are you?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Oh, we're so happy to have you here.
Yes.
Do you want to tell everyone a little bit about what you do in cybersecurity?
Yeah, sure. So I am an offensive security consultant at Desjardins, which is a Canadian financial services cooperative and the largest federation of credit unions in North America. And so my work consists in attacking systems to check if they are safe, and then I will produce like a vulnerability report about it. And I am also a blogger and a podcaster on my blog CS by GB, and I am VP Communications at NorthSec conference.
Awesome. Thank you. That's so many.
Another badass guest here on Focal Point.
I love how everyone, it's not just like one thing, right? Everybody's doing so many things. It's so awesome.
It really is. I love it.
So can you tell us a little bit about how you got into pen testing? And we'll start there. That's a good one.
Okay. So it was a long journey because I come from a conservative family. So computer science and technology, this was not considered as a job, and even less for the girl I was. So I did not choose scientific studies at first. So I went to dramatic arts and acting. And at the same time, I was a receptionist in a luxury hotel in Paris. And in my spare time, I would program websites about theater and art and played massive multiplayer role game, MMORPG, and also created discussion forums. But, this passion for technology, it kind of grew. And so I wanted to better understand those tools. And so that's how I got into computer science. So I was going back to studies with a literature background. So it was hard, but I was very, very passionate and I was very motivated. But in my cohort, we were only 2 women for 30 men. So this motivates me to give my time also to women communities. I started to work as a dev after my studies, and I liked it, but still something was missing. So, how can I make my apps more secure? And how could I, engage in the values that I cherished? So I looked up online and I became very passionate about pentesting and cyber peace. So I made myself a self-studying program to get into pentest, and yeah, that's how I got here. And I got hired in Canada as a pentester.
Oh, that's so cool. So how long have you been in Canada now?
Since September 2019.
Oh, wow. How's life there? How do you feel?
It's awesome. I mean, it's people are open and because I kind of feel like my experience in France was more as a developer. But if I had to compare, what I can say is that France is a country that only swears by diplomas and not by profiles that are different. And so in France, like many other countries, you do not really have room for different profiles. I mean, it's even disturbing, So Canada actually gave me a change with my profile, and they saw it as a trend and an asset. So the difference is like in a conservative country that wants the elite to look the same and stay the same, and a country that wants talent to make an economy work, you know?
Mhm.
And also, as a lesbian woman, I feel more welcome than in France because, like, for instance, at Desjardins, I feel comfortable to be who I am and to grow in my career. Because it's hard to be a woman, but it's also hard to be from the LGBTQ plus community. So
Yep.
It's good because in Canada, I don't feel this pressure.
That's so great.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I actually know nothing about France except for French, the language. But yeah, that's interesting. That's also good to know.
So I met Gabrielle in Paris.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Yeah, so like when I was still like running NorthSec Denver, or just started doing that.
Wait, hold on. You were in Paris, like where the Eiffel Tower is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, tell me more. I'm sorry.
I get around, Chantel.
Yeah, you do. I had no idea.
Yeah. And so I was like, well, I know we have a chapter leader there. I'm going to check it out. And I like contacted Gabby and was like, hey, do you want to meet up? and we could talk about cybersecurity or just like whatever. And she was so wonderful. And we went on a little tour of like one of the neighborhoods, and she showed me all the cool things to eat and some fancy places to shop and
oh my God,
places that I probably shouldn't go into because they were probably really expensive. And she gave me some really good tips, but it was so lovely to just like have that network and just say, I'm in another country. I want to talk to somebody who has a similar interest in technology and background, and just see what it's like. And so that was amazing. And that's when I really started to see like how cool networking with people in your community can be, even if, right, it's what we hung out for, like maybe an hour, right? But we've been friends ever since.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like we already had something to talk about, so it was much more easy because I'm kind of shy, so it was cool to, we had the same interest, so we already had a conversation to do, and so it went very, very smoothly, and so it was the coolest.
It was great.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm a little jealous that I wasn't there. I've never been to France or Paris.
You gotta go.
Okay, so next time we all meet in Paris, okay?
Let's do it. Listen, we have like standing reservations with other previous guests that have been on the show.
Wait, but first we need to go to Canada because Canada is now open. The border is now open.
Oh, it is.
And I have never been to Canada, and it is much closer than France.
I've looked at Canada. When I lived in Detroit, I used to stare at it all the time whenever we were like downtown.
Yeah.
You can see it across the lake there. But no, I haven't been either. So we're going to meet you, Gabrielle, in Canada, and we're all going to go to Paris.
Yeah.
You all heard it here.
Perfect. We're going to do some road trips.
I'm with it.
But yeah, so one of the things that always interests me, and every time I talk to Gabby, I'm like, so how's Canada compared to France? And like, I just keep asking because every time I think it's so cool that she was able to easily transition to another country and kind of like get her dream job. And it may not be as easy as you made it sound, but are there any tips that you have for people who are thinking about moving to another country where they may be more accepting of people who do self-taught learnings and non-traditional education?
Well, Canada is very good because, as I say, they are open to this type of profiles. But in general, I would say don't be afraid. Whatever country you like, just go for it and try, because if you try and if you're motivated, it can only work. And if it doesn't work, you always have a plan B. So it's okay. You always figure out something.
You have to be really courageous to say like, hey, I'm going to go and just move to a whole nother country. Like, it's one thing to move to a whole nother state, but like to say, oh yeah, I'll go to Canada from France. Like, you are really brave.
Well, I mean, it was not that difficult because I had the job before moving. So it was really something I was sure would work.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I've been in Canada 10 years ago. 10 years before. No, it's been 12 years ago. And I really loved it. So I actually went with my girlfriend and we removed again here with my girlfriend. So, well, we really loved it. We really fell in love with the country. So we had to come back and try, to stay. So
Wait, so same girlfriend for 10 years? Same girlfriend?
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yes, congratulations.
Amazing.
Congratulations.
You can get through anything.
I love.
That's awesome. But you've been in Montreal the whole time, correct?
Yes.
So Chantel, like, she was able to continue to speak French, which I'm sure made it much easier instead of going from, like, I don't know, France to Brazil or something crazy. Although you do speak Spanish, well, that's Portuguese, but I know you're multilingual. That was another question I had for you. Do you think that being multi or bilingual is an asset in this field?
Yes, if you master English instead of having my awful accent, it should work. No, but thank you. But seriously, I think it offers more opportunities and perspectives to, pick some another language. And I really wish I could speak more languages because I speak like English and French, and I have some basics in German, and a little basic in Spanish, but it doesn't count because I only knew a few words and a few sentences. Mm-hmm. Like I know how to say, can you give me your credit card in Spanish? So it's not very
inappropriate. Such an appropriate.
Yeah, but it was very useful in hospitality services.
Oh, right.
No, it's not very useful anymore. So if you ask this to someone in cybersecurity, they're gonna look at you like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
You're an actual hacker. You're like, give me your credit card.
What's your password? In Spanish.
But what's interesting about speaking French is that for my blog, all the open source articles are written in English, so people approach me because they're happy to find things in French, because even if you do understand English, sometimes it's easier when you're starting out in the field to find documentation in your own language, because of the technical words and everything.
Sure.
So that's, I think it's always an asset to be able to speak many languages.
I do think it's cool that you don't just stick to one. You blog and you post and retweet all your things. So like you use both languages, and that's great. I try to do that more with like events that I am a part of creating, and I'm like, we should hold more things in other languages, because while most people do know English, maybe they're apt to join if we have a version in French, or just like a session or a session in Spanish, and just giving people more opportunity to just absorb in their own native language.
Yeah, and it could be also a good opportunity for people to learn another language. So
exactly.
You're right. This has honestly kind of motivated me to like get on top of learning Spanish more, like my wife. French too. My wife, she speaks multiple languages, English, Spanish, Portuguese, and French. And I am always just in awe of like, I don't know how she can just switch to all those different languages. But yeah, I guess I never really thought about how many opportunities networking wise that would actually open up, and from a security perspective, at least.
Yeah, and also for also job opportunities. I mean, sometimes they are looking for very specific people who speak like, I don't know, Dutch and so if you speak this language, you have one asset more, and you have access to another opportunity that you maybe wouldn't have access if you didn't speak Dutch or something,
You're so right.
There's always two that come to mind for me, and one is obviously Russian, and because Russia.
Yes.
And I'm like, man, I wish I knew Russian. And then if something goes down, I could look at it and be like, that's Russian.
I actually attempted to learn Russian once, and I stopped with the alphabet because there are 32 letters in the Russian alphabet, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, there's like 32 letters, and I struggled, which, you're going to struggle with anything new you learn.
Yeah.
But yeah, same.
Then the other is Chinese, because I'm into AI, and I think it's very interesting and important. And everything I read is like, China's going to take over. So I'm like, okay, well, now's the time to learn Chinese and just move there before that happens. No, but it's crazy.
They've been saying it forever that China's going to take over everything. It's just like, oh, we can work together. It's fine.
They might, though.
Okay, maybe. A little.
So
maybe a little.
So from your intro, Gabby, I have other questions. So what was your favorite RPG game?
So the one I really played a lot was World of Warcraft.
Okay.
What?
A long time ago, and now I kind of stopped a little, but I also really like to play Elder Scroll. Skyrim, sorry. Yes,
yeah.
Oh
Skyrim,
yeah, I've heard of that one.
Which was really cool. And recently I played The Witcher. Which I really enjoyed as well.
I've played that a couple times and heard good things. Yeah.
Like the Netflix show?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it was a game too.
All right.
So it's not online with multiplayers, but it's an RPG. So it's very nice.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I only know about it because my nephew brought it up from the iPad one time, and I was like, you should not be watching this. He was 3 at the time.
Okay.
But, yeah.
And then my other question was, you did mention that you created your self-study plan. So like, I want to know how you went about that, because I know the internet is just a black hole and you can get lost in how to even start that. And also, I know you did some study, well, I'm going to say abroad, but it was abroad for you while you were in France, in Amsterdam, correct?
It was summer school in the Netherlands, yes, in Den Haag.
So like, how did you create your plan, and how did you get the opportunity to go to that summer school, or like what did you do to get into? I know like they accept a certain amount of people, so
to do this self-study program, I relied on a concept called apprenance. It's a science education concept. So what I did is that I mixed different way of learning, like CTF, like learning expeditions, which is what I did in the Netherlands. And also I went to conferences and I got involved in communities and everything. And so to get in the Netherlands, I looked up the possibility of summer schools, and I found one in Ukraine, which is the first one I did. It was very, very nice. And I really got the confirmation that it was pentesting that I really liked. And then I went to the one in the Netherlands, which was more broad and more general and more holistic, And so it was very, very inspiring. And I met a lot of people from all over the world at both those summer schools. For the one in the Netherlands, there was, because, they have Europol in the Netherlands, and they also have NATO office there. And so it was made, and they did this summer school. So, well, you have to apply, and there's a fee, which is not that expensive. And you get to spend 1 week, and you have a project that you have to do with a group. So it's very cool because you get to know people. And so I was in contact with someone from Germany, someone from Sweden, and someone from Canada. So it was also mixed up in terms of our skills. So I was more technical, and people were more, someone was working more on a low, field. Mm-hmm. So it was very, very interesting because you get to learn also not only technical things, but also things that are more holistic. And so that's what I really like, because this is also what I really like about cybersecurity is the mix of the people and the subjects you have in here. I mean, it's so rich. You never get bored because you have so many things to learn. Yes. And so, yeah, this is what was really cool about this summer school.
Awesome.
And so, traditional schooling is different because, I don't know, recently I counted the number of years I stayed in school, and I was shocked. Like, I think it was 1/3 of my life.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you mean from like growing up until?
Yeah, like from when you're a kid, like from preschool until the university, and it's 1/3. It's actually 1/3 of a life. Yeah. And wow. I didn't think this 1/3 got me ready for the workplace or to adapt, to the changing world. Right. And also it does not prepare us for the lifelong learning you're going to have to do now, because as I just said, the world is changing, and now we have to learn all along our life. And so, the way school teach is not adapted also to all learners. So that is to say, sometimes more students are not ready at the time they are taught a certain subject, to hear and understand it.
Yeah.
And sometimes the methodology they use, it's only working for some people, but and for some specific learner profile,
Right.
So atypical profiles are discarded in favor of students, who meet the code of the elite. And so, technologies such as artificial intelligence, it can now help us to adapt to educational content of all kinds, for these different profiles, so that everyone can have, a place in this world.
Right.
Right.
And I think also financially, you have to go in debt, or you have to come from a family that has the means to allow their children to go to study. And for me, this is like the biggest inequality that can exist in our modern society, because there will be those who will have access to the information and those who will not have access, and this will build gaps that are, impossible to fill over a lifetime, so.
Exactly.
And so, for example, in France, someone who grew up with working class parents would need 180 years to become part of the middle class. And it's,
Wow.
I mean, it's crazy. And so, yeah, I think that the current educational system, it's neither fair nor adapted to the society we live in. And it should, get adapted to every learning profiles, because it's 2021. I mean,
I agree.
Right. Yeah.
That's one of the things I love about cybersecurity is that, well, and a lot of technology and computer science in general, is that you can go on the internet and there's a lot of information, like so much. The hard part about it is, right, how do you, specifically for cybersecurity or pen testing, how do you narrow down like what's proper to learn for that field exactly? And I think that's the hard part, but the wealth of information is there, which is amazing. And so, how did you like guide yourself to pick the specific things you did learn?
So I took, I had a look at a master degree of a university and the content of it.
Okay.
And I narrowed down the subject matters, and I narrowed down things that would be adapted to me, to my way of learning. I also browsed through job postings. So I had like this mix of academic and workforce, and also my profile and what I already knew. Like, for example, I was a developer when I started this, so I did not really need to go in depth for coding. So I had more, to get to learn a little more about networking, for instance, or cybersecurity laws or things like this. And so this is how I narrowed down this. And also I know that I'm someone who needs to do like learning by doing, So I wish Try Acme existed when I started, because it was not so there yet, Yeah, it's so cool because they have these boxes. They explain everything step by step. So, and they even have a box to teach you how to make the platform work. So it's like you have it. You can really learn from the beginning. So what I used at the time is a platform called rootme.org, which is also very good. It's a CTF platform, and so they will provide you documentation, and it's and you have little challenges, web and networking and different challenges. So this was very cool, and I would have also, if I had known, probably tried Bug Bounty maybe before, because I think it's also a nice way to learn. Because you don't have the pressure and you just have to, try to find something, and you can, and it's legal. So you just have to try your things out. And it's so the context is more adapted to real life than it would be on the CTF platforms.
Sure. Was that RootMe? Is that what you said?
Yes.
ROOT.me?
Oh yeah, RootMe. I'm familiar with that one.
Okay. I haven't heard of that before.
It's root-me.org.
Okay.
But I do want to ask, what is NorthSec more specifically, and what's your role in it?
So NorthSec is a security conference, and it hosts a CTF, which is known for being one of the hardest. And it takes place in Montreal every spring around May. And so I am a VP communication at NorthSec conference. So I will, plan action to build the community, promote diversity and plain communication and content strategies. So for example, this year I initiated a contest called Do We Look Like Hackers, which you both know. And the goal was to promote diversity in the workforce and also break stereotypes about the word hacker, because the word hacker is often associated with cyber criminals. And also we wanted to break the stereotypical image of the hacker, like in hoodies and, by showing the true face of cybersecurity workforce.
Right.
So we asked everybody to share a picture of themselves, and you two so contributed with your great pics.
Yeah.
And at the end, with the help of this company called Go Secure, we produced a video with all the pictures we received, and so I really like this video. Go Secure actually made it done by a professional, and it's very nice and good. We get to see every pictures of everyone, and it's definitely not people with hoodies. So it's good.
Yeah.
It was awesome. The video is great.
It really was. It really was. I liked it a lot.
Gabby, do you know how many people participated in that?
Well, it was probably 200 or something like this. Like
I was about to say
people.
it had to be over 100. There were a lot of people I saw on there.
So much fun. Yeah,
it really was. So you recently earned your eLearn security cert, the EWPT, which is the eLearn certified web application penetration tester. Did I say all that right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So congratulations, first and foremost, on that. But we are curious to know if you're studying for any other exams or, what's next on your radar, if anything.
So, my opinion about certifications is kind of mixed. Because, exactly as I criticize the traditional educational system and that it must improve, cybersecurity certification, in a way, they reproduce exactly the same flaws. Like for some, they are expensive, for others, they are poorly organized and, not pedagogical enough. So, and it's also a way of doing business that doesn't really, evaluate your skills as a professional and put you in situations that are not necessarily realistic. So yes, I took the WPT because my employer at the time asked me, and if I have to do another certification, of course I will do it because it's very good for employers. But to conclude, it's another way to create injustice because of the cost of this certification, and also because it's not adapted for people who are not comfortable taking exams and yet could be very good people in the field. So I really don't know what to think about certifications because, we saw them on job postings all the time. But what is reassuring for me is I got an opportunity and I got hired without a certification. So it's possible. And I think it's good because when people want you to have a master degree to get to a first job experience, it's you don't have, it doesn't have any sense, to ask for that high a diploma to get to a job. So,
Right, exactly. And I'm with you on the whole certification thing. I'm such a huge fan of eLearn security and their certifications because they are real world. I've been one of the lucky ones to get some pen testing experience prior to getting certifications. I got their ECPPT certification and I really enjoyed it. I'm going to be sitting for the OSCP in a few days after, the recording of this episode. But I'm not in love with the idea of hacking into something in only 24 hours. It's stressful. It's not real world. Sure, there's clout behind it. It's popular, but I truly have an issue with it. I really do. I'm bothered by it.
Yeah, I completely understand this. This is so stressful. And who in the real world will ask you to do a pen test in 24 hours? It's like...
Exactly.
To me, it's like who would have to do any math aside from just simple multiplication, division, subtraction, or addition and not have a calculator or some tool to help a computer? You're never just going to be well, I'm going to solve this problem in my head.
I can only use Metasploit one time today within the 24-hour period. It's really not. And again, it's why I'm such a huge fan of eLearn security because come on, they're giving you a week to do the actual pen test, another week to do the report. That's what it's actually like when you work in the field.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm with you, Gabrielle. I really am.
And the report is really the one, like it was really similar to the one we would do at my job. It was exactly presented like this. So it was very realistic.
Hey, somebody in here just recently got promoted to a pen testing role.
Amazing. Congratulations.
and I'm sure there's going to be
area.
I'm sure there's going to be some reporting involved. Can we talk a little bit about that as far as like for people who don't really know everything that comes with being a pen tester and they just see like the hacking part and that's cool and it does take skill. There's also like the reporting part that comes along with it.
So the first part of a pen test report would be a part for the executive of a company to understand what you found in your report. So it has to be high-level explanations because they don't want to go into technical details because they are not the one who are going to, patch the vulnerabilities. So you have to find a way to explain very clearly and without too many technical details how what you found and in terms of the company system you are testing, what is important, what are the vulnerability you would consider, because even with a rating score like CVSS or OWASP risk rating methodology, it's good, but you don't always have the business impact, and you are the one who are able to give the business impact because it's something you have discussed priorly with the company you are testing the system with. So you have this part, which is very important and very helpful for the person who are taking care of this. And also after you have the vulnerability report part, which is, I really like also this part because you can take it also for using for bug bounty report. Also, if you are in bug bounty, you don't need the executive part, but the vulnerability part is good. Right. And so you have to give in one word the like medium, high, or critical severity. Also, you have to show the score. Most of the time, it's a CVSS score. And then you have to show which item is affected. So for instance, if you find a cross-site scripting vulnerability, you have to show where is the injection point with just a link or something. It depends on where you find it. And you also, after this, have to explain very technical details this time, what you did to get to trigger this, how you exploited it. And in the end, you give also how do you correct it. And it's good also to give resources, like if it's for web pen test, you have a lot of good things like the OWASP documentation is very good for providing details on how to correct something. And also I can recommend also, I usually use a lot the book of Tanya Janka, Alice and Bob Learn Security Application, because it's very good to explain how to correct different vulnerabilities. And it's really helpful if you want to explain it, for developers.
It is a great book. She breaks it down really nicely from beginning to end too, in a really straightforward way to learn. Like making the conversations about Alice and Bob is like, it's so cool.
I just started that book.
Yeah, it's good.
I get to get through it. Yeah. Well, I'll ask the next question. So I guess these are sort of like two questions here. And this is actually a question that I've been asking a ton of people recently because I am expecting kids soon, like days away soon. So, I'm about to be a parent. So I'm trying to like understand like everyone else's work-life balance life looks like. Like, what does that look like for you? What do you enjoy doing outside of work, outside of pen testing?
Okay, so outside of work, like recently because of, COVID, I have binge watched a lot of shows.
Like the rest of us.
Yeah. Like, for instance, I watched the full X-Files. You know how many seasons you have in X-Files? Like, I don't know how many, but
that's amazing.
Like all of them.
That's impressive. That's so cool.
And also, I watched a few seasons of American Horror Story.
Okay.
Because I was very obsessed with Sarah Paulson, but I could not finish it because it was too gore for me.
It got crazy. Did you watch her other show that came out?
American Crime Story?
No, Ratchet.
Oh, yes. My God, it's amazing. Yeah.
Chantel.
I loved it. Yeah.
Gotcha. So you like scary stuff. So does Chantel. I used to. I
love scary stuff. I love scary stuff. Like I love watching just horror movies. Like that's how I relax. Sometimes when I'm hacking,
It's relaxing.
Like seriously, sometimes while I'm hacking, I will literally like have my headphones in, have a horror movie playing on my phone, and I'll flip my phone over just to have it as white noise in the background. I love horror movies. I love it. I know it's kind of crazy.
If I didn't know you, I'd be a little worried.
Exactly. But still, I love horror movies. They're amazing.
So do you stay still when the scene is very, very gore? Like, or do you hide a little your eyes? Or?
Not necessarily. I mean, I might jump a tiny bit, but for the most part, I'm like smiling because I'm like, yo, this is amazing writing. This is a great story. Like, I love it. I usually honestly only jump when a horror or thriller movie is like a little too real. You know, like I think there's one movie called The Strangers that came out in the 2000s.
Don't like that.
Yeah,
I didn't like that.
Yeah, I did not like that one. There's that one, and there's God, I forgot the one where the guy like gets locked in a box by some intruder or whatever. It's called The Collector. I think it's called The Collector. I might totally be wrong. But yeah, I worked at a movie theater at the time, and you know how we used to have to like walk through the theater with our flashlights and count how many people were in the theater. I remember when The Collector came out, and after I had watched it, I went up to my manager. I said, I will not be doing walkthroughs through that theater. It freaks me out. Like, so it's kind of funny. Like, it's more of like the real life stuff that creeps me out a little bit more, but it doesn't happen too often. Most of the time I'm smiling and I'm excited.
Well,
pretty great.
You're lucky. Because I really want to finish American Horror Story, but I can't right now. It's too much.
I'm not big on gore.
Yeah, I don't like anything that could actually happen in real life. It freaks me out.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Well, I hope Saw doesn't happen, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, so when it's not COVID, what would you be doing?
So I also read a lot. I'm currently reading Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn, which is a very good book. But yes, when we are locked down, I enjoy to travel and practice different sports. So when I arrived in Canada, for example, I took a class of krav maga, which is a martial art.
Oh,
that's awesome.
That really is. Oh my God.
And before coming in Canada, I started to learn piano, but I have to leave my piano in France. So
that's so cool. You're a hacker and a Krav Maga, you know, finesser. I love that.
That's wild.
That really is.
So how do you maintain the balance between like working and?
Well, I set schedules for myself and I prioritize. It's very important to prioritize. And above all, I set up routines to be sure to be efficient for both myself and my professional life. It's really kind of give yourself times, like from this time to this time, it's only work and just work. And you also put some breaks in it, because sometimes you are going to work, like I'm going to try to trigger something on something I'm testing and it's not going to work. And so I will just go outside, have a walk for 5 minutes, or, you know, just clean the kitchen or something else. And when I come back, my brain will have rest a little and I will be able to actually do something and make it what I wanted, like trigger this cross-site scripting I couldn't have or something else.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Unblock yourself a little bit.
You're right.
So yeah, I say also I make a lot of lists, you know, what is important, what is not important. So what I want to do. So the list for planning and the list for things I have to currently do. So this is also very helpful. But I think it's a very personal process. I don't think the way I do it would work for everybody. Like, yeah, you know, what do you do? I mean, do you plan a lot, or do you just go and on the way you're like, today I'm going to work? And yeah, I think it's different for everyone.
I try to plan. I do take a lot of I do make a lot of lists. and then they're in many places, and I'm like, so many lists. But I recently painted a wall as a whiteboard, so I have like a whiteboard wall, which is nice because I can just sit there and like write on it, and then when I'm done, I just like wipe it off, right? And instead of like before, I had a bunch of sticky notes, and I was like, why did I buy these? But I keep using them.
I like that.
But like, I like being able to, I have like object permanence. So if I can't see something, I'll seriously forget about it.
Right.
And so I like being able to see it on the wall, and that gives me enough space for like a lot of things. So that was a pretty cool thing that I was able to do.
Yeah, I plan a lot too. I have to plan, and lately I find myself like, if I don't have something in my calendar, I'm especially gonna forget about it. So I've been trying to be better about actually scheduling things within my calendar, like no matter how small the task.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I hear you. I use the reminder app a lot.
Oh yeah.
Like every week when I have something to do, every week I have to.
It's so useful. So useful.
I don't know if it was Chris Roberts or someone else. I feel like it was him. Don't quote me on that, but him or someone similarly as awesome showed their calendar at some point, and it was just like everything is planned out all day, because he built in like eat lunch, do this, time for yourself, dog, whatever, right? And it's like, if you don't plan it out, well, for some people, if you don't plan everything out, like you won't make time for it, or like someone else will try to fit something in there, you know? And that's what happened to me a lot, is that I had a bunch of open spots on my calendar at work, and then it was like, people were like, just throw stuff on there. And I'm like, where did this even come from?
Right.
So I just like, I use the focus time that we have in Outlook a lot, and it's helped, because I just put it in there, and then if somebody tries to like book over it, I'm like, what is this meeting? What is this meeting about? But most of the time they're pretty good about, you know, putting it where I've left blank spots, so that I know I have time to like check my emails and actually work or take a break. But, you know, there's some time in there for myself too.
Yeah, I imagine people that are only in meetings all day, every day, I would hope at least that they're scheduling things like that. I mean, I don't want to be a manager, because it looks like people just go from meetings to meetings, but yeah, scheduling time to actually work. Yeah, need it.
What were you going to say, Gabby?
I said it's also this feature on Outlook, and also on other calendar, where you are able to see someone else's calendar. So if you want to book for someone, it's very cool, because you won't have to. You just select a spot, and the person is free. You know, she or he is free, and it's very cool.
Yeah, I do like that. I like that feature a lot. It makes life a lot easier. I recently found out that you can. Is it Cortana? Yeah. So I know not everyone has a PC. Some people have Macs, but for those of you who have Cortana, you can like, or something. It's something similar. You like email Cortana, and you're like, schedule a time for this meeting, and it will do it for you.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'll have to find out the details. It's pretty cool, because then you don't even have to go look at the calendars. It just does it. And then if you're like, no, it'll reschedule another one. So that's pretty cool. Automate the things. It's
nice.
Gabby, what's the best advice you've received about getting into or advancing your career in cybersecurity?
So the best advice I had was 12 years ago, when my girlfriend told me to make a list of what I like and what I don't like, to help me find my career path, you know. So this is how I got into computer science, and how I decided to take a bachelor degree. And also something funny is that she always saw me as a hacker, because of how I would manage to do things. And after, it revealed itself to me when I worked as a developer, and as I mentioned, you know, earlier. But she accompanied me during my adventure to make the transition between development and pen testing. So, like, I'm very grateful to her for this. But, you know, self-teaching is great, because you adapt the program to your profile. But I would say that if it's possible to have a mentor during this period, it's important, because, you know, it allows you to stay on track, and because, you know, she's a pedagogical engineer. And so it really was helpful for me to stay on track, because she knows what everything educational related. So it was very, very helpful. So, and finally, I would add that to break into cybersecurity, like if I had to give an advice, I mean, it might seem, strange, but do not wait for the society permissions to create your own path. Just go for it, because, if it's what you want to do, like you don't have to wait for anyone or anybody permission to do it. So.
Yes. I love that advice. Like, I honestly feel like I live by that a lot. Like, I don't have to wait on anyone to tell me that I should wait 3 years into my career to then go and do reverse engineering or something like that. Like if I'm interested in it now, I'm going to go and study it, learn it, and do it. Yes, I love that. Listen to Gabrielle, people. Listen.
Do it. That's one of my biggest pet peeves is I see people who have like aspiring cybersecurity, whatever, but they've already done some things and they have some skills. And I'm like, take aspiring off. You're doing it.
Exactly.
You are that. You're already doing it. Whether it's your job right now or not, you're already it.
Yep.
And even if you're not, you can pretend, and then you will actually be doing it anyway.
This is true. This is very true. I was calling myself a hacker well before I was like even deep into it, or just like before I got to where I am now. I'm much better at hacking now, but like even as I was starting, I was like, oh yeah, I'm a hacker. I can do this.
If you listen to everyone, you waste time. You waste so much time.
You really do.
It is important having a partner who understands what you're going through too, though, and that like that change is going to take time and focus, and you probably weren't able to like binge watch a bunch of shows during your learning period or hang out as much, but afterwards you can. It is a lot of work.
Yeah, it is. But if you're hungry, you can make it happen.
Yeah, totally.
I'm so impressed by all the things you've accomplished, Gabrielle, and I can't wait to hear more in the future, see what else you do and what happens with NorthSec and just your whole adventure. So
yeah, same here. And if you haven't heard of NorthSec, like seriously, go check it out. They're doing amazing things. Some like really cool workshops and stuff. Like seriously, go and check out NorthSec if you haven't heard of it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gabby. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, you too. And thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun.
Yes, me too. Okay, so we'll see each other soon when we all meet up in Canada and then go to France.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Focal Point Podcast with Angela Marafino and Chantel Sims. If you learned something new and this podcast made you think, then share itspmagazine.com with your friends, family, and colleagues. If you represent a company and wish to associate your brand with our conversations, sponsor one or more of our podcast channels. We hope you will come back for more stories and follow us on our journey. You can always find us at the intersection of technology, cybersecurity, and society.